On November 6th of 2022, I was taking my first ever flight alone on my first ever solo trip, going to literally the other side of the world. My journey started when I was 17. I had just graduated high school and decided I really just wanted to go and get out of my tiny small town. I was headed to Hawaii and I was going to volunteer for 3 months. And now, 2.5 years later, I'm coming back from my third solo trip to Hawaii, all whilst I'm also now a full-time student and traveling to other places in between. Okay, but how the heck did I do this? Hey gang, what's up? I got my little iced vanilla cold brew. Whenever I'm at the airport, I crave Starbucks. It just seems right. I also got it on my fake name, Sam, which is something that I always used to do when I first started traveling alone, because nobody here in the US can pronounce my name correctly. Anyways, I thought it'd be fitting to film this while I'm on the layover in Seattle Airport. And just talk about how I started solo travel, how you can do it too, because it's really not that hard, but I think a lot of people make it seem harder or make it harder than it is. The first time I took a solo trip, it was really for 3 months, so I kind of dove into the deep end right away, and then I kind of just became obsessed with it. Right now I would say I go on trips every couple months, which is kind of crazy because I'm a full-time art student in the Netherlands, and I always somehow find a way to do these things. Okay, I would say one of the most asked questions I got was basically just, how do I start? How did you start? I volunteer with this organization called YWAM, which is something that I've volunteered with a couple times now. It's a Christian organization based all over the world. And I've kind of been around this organization for a long time. They kind of always need volunteers, and I'll either ask them if they need practical volunteers or need help with designs or stuff, and usually I'll just look on the Mission Builder website, which is the volunteering website for YWAM. If you want to be a short-term volunteer, you could also do a long-term, but I've never really done long-term before. I usually only go for a couple of weeks or at most a month. Yeah, basically I mostly volunteer with them, which has been really good so far. I've had a really good experience. So I just look up the different bases. I'm okay, I kind of feel I want to go to Scotland right now. I'm going to see what YWAM bases there are there. And I'll look it up literally on Google, and I'll see the bases and be oh, actually this looks pretty fun, I kind of want to go here. And then I'll just shoot them an email being hey, I'm a little Dutch girl and my name is Lotte and I love doing design. I'm an art student. I would love to come and help you guys if you need any help with design for anything, or even if you need practical help with cleaning and stuff. I'm so down. Okay, I won't lie, the thing with these bases is usually you have to really be committed and go after the communication, because sometimes you're kind of bad at that. I'm not gonna lie. And I will be kind of crazy and send them a bunch of emails until I get a response or even call them. I think I kind of have no shame about this anymore, which is also just something you kind of learn as you go. I would recommend looking at YWAM, because I think it's just such a wonderful organization. It's a great way to meet people, because for me, I am Christian, so I already have things in common with the people that I meet there. So maybe if you're not into that, I would suggest looking into Worldpacker, trusted house sitters and things like that, because I have friends or I've met people who've done that and I've heard pretty good things. Still though, whatever you end up doing, I would recommend setting up a call or something first, especially if you're planning to go for a longer time. The family that I was staying with when I was on the Big Island for 3 months, I called with them a couple of times just to ensure my safety, because I was a minor when I was going, and I think that's really important. Guys, please be safe out there, especially as a woman. Read reviews, everything before you go to a hostel hotel. Just don't go out alone at night. Never done that solo traveling. I don't even want to do that. I don't have the urge to do that. I'm in my bed watching my little comfort show.
I agree. Getting your smell all over the computer.
Don't go out alone. If you're there with a friend, great, but still be careful. Just don't, honestly. If you're going out in the city for a day or something, I always kind of book up the spots and areas I want to go beforehand, and check them out and make sure my phone is charged. Bring your phone charger. Share your location with people you love. Yeah, just make sure you have all the assets that if something happens, call somebody, let somebody know, send an SOS alert, all of like the pretty general things I would say that are just kind of sound like common sense. Do proper research before you go. If you're traveling alone, just don't mention that you're alone. And especially not to like guys and stuff, because that's just like, it can get sketchy really fast. Never share too much personal information, even like with girls, honestly. Just like in general, if you just meet people and you don't know who they are yet, just don't do all of that stuff. It's okay to like tell a little white lie. Say you're traveling with your dad, with your brothers, with your friends, like, or you have family living there. Like, when it comes to your safety, trust me, it's okay. I have done this before. Come up with another name, tell people that I'm meeting my brothers and my dad there, you know. I've pretended to like call my dad, be like, oh hey dad, when are you picking me up, you know. Let that inner theater kid out, you know. Come up with a new persona, have fun with it. Okay, quick intermission. I'm gonna find some breakfast. Alright gang, let's talk about money. Dang it, I got another coffee. How did that happen? Well, on the topic of unnecessary purchases, let's talk about budget. How the heck do you afford to travel as a student? How do I afford to go to the other side of the world? Like, every year? How do I afford to go on random trips throughout the year? That's a really good question, and actually the answer might come as a really big shock to you. I feel like nobody really talks about this, but there's like this thing, and it's called work. No, I'm also a student. I know how it is. Okay, something my very sassy past self forgot to mention is that I do live with my parents. Maybe able to like save way more money, and then also the like student finance program in my country is just like really, really great. I don't like pay too much for college, honestly, because like the system in the Netherlands is just really nice. Even though maybe that's not your case, you can still travel. Like, there's definitely ways to do so, and I'll list some more throughout this video. I have been working. I'm actually like so aware of everybody looking at me, but at the same time, like, I don't care. Like, I feel really free right now. Why is this so fun? Nobody really cares. Yeah, I've been working since I was 14. I've had random side hustles for a long time. I do freelance work. I do freelance work as an illustrator and also as an editor. So that's like things I can do wherever I am. I think people often think that traveling has to be way more expensive than it really is. It also just depends on yourself travel. I will say I would like call myself a budget traveler just because I usually am on a budget. And like I said, I usually do like a work trade type of thing when I travel and volunteer. So really I'm only paying for my ticket because I don't pay for housing and food often. I went on like a bunch of trips from like spring to summer this year, but all those like months before that I was just working and going to school. So I think on social media it often seems like I'm traveling way more because I also just like post like content throughout the year that I have while I travel. I'm no finance bro, you know. I will usually make a rough draft of what I want to spend and like set money apart for when I travel, having an idea of how much I want to spend, and usually I'll like mentally be like, oh, I only want to spend this amount, but usually I'll have like a bit more saved up just so I have like a buffer, you know. And also I just like save money throughout the year, so I have general savings, which I recommend anybody doing, because like you just need a buffer when you're traveling. You never know what may happen. Missing a flight, whatever could happen. So yeah, work, save up, and then I just don't spend too much while I'm traveling. You have to kind of just like think for yourself, what are things that I'm willing to spend more money on than others. If you really like coffee, then like go to like a little cute specialty cafe. I love doing that, and I love finding cute little cafes on the map, and I'm like, okay, take my $10, you know, take my $10 for a good latte, I don't care. Maybe you're like, oh, I really want to get some cute souvenirs for my family. You set some extra money apart for that as well. What aspects should I save a bit more for? And then you also won't feel too guilty when you do spend money on those things. Because if you don't make those decisions for yourself, you're just be walking around spending so much money and being like, oh my gosh, I feel like so guilty. Whenever I draft it up for myself a little bit, it's not as bad because then I like know that I'm gonna spending like probably $200 on coffees. I only use coffee for the example, but I just really love coffee, and that's like what I generally spend most of my money on. I would just say work, save money, make like a rough outline of a budget, and then also like what you are gonna be willing to spend more money on than another thing. Usually I just write this in my journal. Like, I'm no finance bro. I'll just like make a little outline, look at my bank account. If you can get some income while you're traveling, that's great too. Like, if you have like a little side gig you can do. There's so many side gigs nowadays, guys. It's actually insane the amount of things that are on social media. And even as like a content creator, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of it. Like, I don't even like make full-time income from social media right now. But I mean, I probably could if I were to like just dive deeper into all these random things you could do. You could do like user-generated content. You could like go to Airbnbs and make videos for them and trade for like a stay in the Airbnb. There's like a lot of options, honestly. And I feel like there's so much in our world right now that we don't even realize we can like use, and assets we have access to. Just think of all these crazy life hacks that are out there. And I'll like those some on the screen right now. Be creative and don't feel like, oh, I have no money, I can't travel. No, you can. You just like need to be willing enough to figure out how to do so. There's so many people I've met and connections I've made at places I've went just because of social media. So literally just go crazy with that. Okay, gang, now that we talked about all the practical things of how to start and how to budget your trip, it's time for like the most fun part where everything is going to come together, which is when we make friends abroad. I'm so grateful that I've met so many of my really like now closest friends through solo traveling. Like, one of the people that I stayed with this summer, I met her literally last year when I was volunteering, and now she's literally one of my best friends, and we went to Spain together. She visited me in the Netherlands. Like, stuff like that just kind of happens when you're out and about and making friends. It can be quite hard to like do this. It's like the hardest the first couple times when you like really have to like push yourself out of your comfort zone. I've really never heard a no asking to hang out with somebody that I like just met. I think it's just really good to like practice your taking initiative in this, which you've already like had to do with the budgeting and then like planning the trip and everything, but now you can really put it into action once you're actually there and having to meet people. Okay, I had to move because that was too much for me. I was really like sitting right behind a Dutch family, and I was just like, I can't do this. They're gonna hear my accent and they're gonna know I'm one of them. Now I'm sitting in the food court. I'm really trying to not be humorous right now, but I actually really am. And I was really just talking about like how traveling has helped me, and it really has, because like, what am I doing right now? This is insane. Anyways, back to making friends. So first of all, like I said, volunteering is a good way to do it, but also, again, I'm just gonna say, go to social media. There's apps like Trip BFF and another one, I'll insert them here as well. I forgot the name. That, I actually haven't tried that before. I have friends who have though, but most of the people that I've actually met has actually been through Instagram. I've like actually met some people through Instagram that I like just talked to, and then they happen to like be in the area. Okay, this is kind of like a weird way to explain it, but this is literally kind of what happened for me. Or like when I find somebody and I like their account, I'll like send them a message right away. And it's kind of like how I'm in contact with like a lot of different people like around the world, kind of constantly. Like saying, if you have like so many like connections worldwide on Instagram, or like even through the Discord channel that I have, it's like how I've met like most of the people that I met through social media. There's just like a lot of different ways to go about it, honestly. I definitely still get anxious about it sometimes. I think every time I go again and I think, oh, maybe I won't experience it this time, but I kind of do like have to keep up pushing myself out of that comfort zone. And I think I've gotten pretty good at it, like taking initiative and stuff, but you know, it's still like scary, and like I'm scared people don't like me too. It really does get uncomfortable, I won't lie, but like at the end of the day, you learn so much from it, and it makes you grow like so much into person, like next level. Just think of how much could happen if you go on like one trip, because that's really how it is. I would never have expected to like love solo traveling so much and being okay being alone, I guess. And I just really want to encourage you to do that thing you've been thinking about for so long, because you can do it. Like, I'm not better than you, you know? We're both the same girl, and we both got this. Even if it sucks, you learn so much from it. I've like had some solo trips that were like rough for a couple of days, you know? But you get through it, and you get through it with God. You get through it by making new friends, by journaling, by reading. Yeah, it's just such a formative time, and it's so epic and fun. And I honestly like want everybody to have that experience at least once in your life. Okay, I think I yapped enough for now. I gotta go on my flight soon, which is gonna board back home. I feel crazy right now. why am I pretending like I'm a big YouTuber right now?